All right, back one more time with, well, not one more time. We're back another time with Fernando Raul of Fernando Raul Astrology. And hopefully I've been saying that right. Is it Fernando Raul Astrology or Fernando Raul Castro Astrology?
Fernando Raul Astrology.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully everyone will figure that out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't mind.
But back again with Fernando here, and we're finishing up a little series we've been doing, which is part of a much bigger series on the planets for each ascendant. And we've been talking about Virgo. And so today we're going to be looking at the sun for Virgo ascendant and the role the sun plays if the sun was functioning in its highest capacity, which means that if you listen to what we're discussing and you hear, okay, this is how the sun would function in its highest capacity, you can maybe let go a little bit of your attachment to wherever your sun might be and realize that you have the ability to intentionally develop your sun in harmony with Virgo. So the sun rules the 12th house for Virgo ascendant. We need to know that first. We also know that the sun is debilitated in the 2nd house for a Virgo ascendant and exalted in the 8th house for a Virgo ascendant. So Fernando, keeping this in mind, what are some ideals you have around the sun for a Virgo ascendant?
So thank you very much, Ryan, for inviting me once again. So basically what we do is we take the solar energy and we apply it to the 12th house. So what's the solar energy? Basically, it's our consistency. It's basically our inspiration, our higher power. It is our honor and leadership. And the 12 is basically expenditure. It's basically the money we spend. It's basically also letting go of things, letting things end. And at the same time is the internal. It's like the psychologically internal. Some people might relate it to the spiritual also. So basically, we're going to face those areas of life according to our Virgo Lagna with a solar outlook. And as you said, what's going to help that and what's going to thwart that? What's going to help that is the sun being, in the 8th, in the 6th, I'm sorry, in the 8th. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm sorry, I got it.
It's okay. It's easy to get mixed up with 8th and the 9th and the 4th and the 12th and the 3rd and the 4th of noon and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's an astrologer's job to a certain extent, doing that, all that synergistic composition. That's why people pay us. But the thing is, sudden ups and downs.
You get paid? I don't get paid.
Yeah, I get paid, man. I get like $5 for a reading. So yeah.
Well, hey, that's that's pretty
I'm
good.
doing well. Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
For going backwards, I'm sorry. So the 8th will help the 12th, which is kind of interesting because they're both Tushtanas. So you kind of get like a Viparit vibe there. But it's the idea that sudden ups and downs, other people's finances helps us manage our own in terms of how we spend it. So, a Virgo Lagna is a good person who might be a good financial advisor, for example. It might be somebody who might help other people invest money in things that he believes are the best. And at the same time, the sun gets debilitated in the 2nd. So although we might be good dealing with other people's money, we might, having the 2nd and the 12 relationship in a bad dichotomy, that can bring, people who might spend a lot or people who might have problems saving money, or people who spend a lot on family relationships, or people who spend a lot on their responsibilities. But even more than that, since it's Libra, it's spending money because other people make us spend money, or because other people make us feel that we have to spend money in certain areas. So, family finances, responsibilities might not be, the best place to invest, or the best place to, take into consideration when we're supposed to spend money.
So if your brother comes to you and says, I've got this great business idea of starting a gas station in somewhere in Austin, Texas, that might be an issue to be like, well, maybe not for me because I'm a Virgo ascendant.
To a certain degree, yes. So if that would happen, I would recommend don't invest a lot. A little bit, but if you, at the same time, if you recommend that to your brother, then that would be a better place. Hey man, you should open a gas station on us in Texas. And he says, sure. Are you in? No man, I'm just recommending it. I'm just an advisor, so go ahead.
Well, it makes me think of when we put all this together with the 12th Lord exalted in the 8th and the 12th Lord debilitated in the 2nd, and then we've got the 7th Lord debilitated in the 5th, and yet it's exalted in the 11th. It's all this kind of points to, it's almost like the kind of astrologer who's a financial advisor astrologer who doesn't have any money himself, but somehow is able to possibly give other people advice that works, because it's more.
You're a Virgo Lagna, right? And
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that might be how it works. So I see what you're saying there. That makes sense.
Yeah, and when you have a 12-second combination, it's kind of complicated. So if you have that going on, well, don't feel bad or anything. If you have like an exchange between Libra and Leo, if you're a Virgo Lagna, you might have difficulty saving money, but that's part of life. Don't worry about that. What you have to look for is, the 12th house. Everybody has a 12th house, so everybody has to spend money. Everybody has to spend energy. So a good way to spend it is spending it with other people. Spending it with other people's finances, with other people's resources. To a certain degree, obstacles are good. You're a good person who spends money. You like to spend money in order to achieve your honor, achieve your constancy, to resolve sudden problems that come up. For example, your house, falls down the hill or gets drowned in a swamp. You will like spending money to resolve that problem that suddenly came up.
Right. And if you think about, the idea that the sun is exalted in the 8th exalted in the 8th and debilitated in the 2nd. And then what we have on the other side of that is Saturn is opposite.
Yes.
So Saturn is debilitated in the 8th and exalted in the 2nd. And what we see there, it very much, it's a symbiotic relationship in a way, because with Saturn in the 2nd, by meeting your responsibilities, by setting a good foundation for yourself financially and your wealth, it helps to keep sudden breaks and changes or dangers and misfortunes of the 8th house from really burying you. But in the same way, with the sun exalted in the 8th, which is your constancy, your steadfastness, your dedication, it can show that by maintaining that kind of steady, even-mindedness, that helps to lead the Virgo ascendant to a state of liberation, that 12th house, a state of freedom. So it complements each other. Saturn complements the sun, and the sun complements Saturn for Virgo ascendant in that regard, I think.
Yeah, and we can, we're going down the rabbit hole, and we can take that even further. If you have, the Saturn exalted in the 2nd, Sun exalted in the 8th, being each 1/5 Lord Saturn, 12th Lord Sun, you can advise people to invest their money, and at the same time, you do that to take care of your children,
right?
To take care of that responsibility in a very good way. So once again, and then you can, we can just keep doing different permutations.
What's interesting about that, I think one of the reasons I want to do these videos is because if you start thinking about the planets and their exaltations and their house rulerships from a sign in this way, it leads you to a really profound understanding of the ascendant we're talking about.
Yeah. And so it's never ending.
We could go on for a long period of time, but since we're on a time scale, is there anything else in your notes that you'd like to share?
Not at all. But what I wanted,
go ahead.
To end it, technically, you could make, you can make several videos about each lagna if you really go down this road of different permutations.
Right.
We're just taking into consideration ucha and nicha, exaltation and debilitation. We're not taking neutral dignities.
Right.
We're not taking great friend dignities or enemy dignities. So you start to see the richness that just is in the certain arrangement of a chart according to certain lagnas.
Right. Good. Well, I feel we've done a pretty good job on this. I mean, just personally reflecting on all the stuff we've talked about, I don't know. I had no idea Virgo was so interesting, even though I am one.
That's true.
So, all right.
By the way, we haven't even picked any personal experiences of your life as example. So
right, it's all none of this reflects any real life situation or circumstance. By the way, what I don't remember. What is your ascendant again?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Okay. Well then, we're definitely going to pull you back on here for going through the planets of Sagittarius, if not before that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. We still have to go through a Libra and Scorpio, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for being here with us, Fernando. And once more, if you have some interest in working with Fernando, which I highly recommend, he's one of my top students in the Vedic Astrology.
Thank you.
What's that? You are. You are. No modesty here.
You have to send me the medal and the.
Yeah, you haven't got that yet, but when you do, we'll have a ceremony. But anyway, if you want to get in touch with him, you can Google or search for Fernando Raul Castro Astrology, and as he's mentioned before, that will come up in Spanish, but he will respond to you in English if you email him. So thanks again for being here, Fernando. It was fantastic.
Thank you, Ryan. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Peace.